Alright, today we're going to be doing a review on Forza Horizon 4. Pretty good racing game, pretty well optimized. Loading times can be an issue if you do not, like I said before, have a solid state drive. That's always something that's really going to help you with modern PC gaming and going to get you rolling and get you happy, keep you happy for a long time, providing you buy a decent one. I wouldn't buy one that's too cheap or too,
Okay,
flimsy.
Samuel. I have set your route to
I've
the
been
new
getting
base of
pretty
the
decent
Horizon
frame rates out of this
database
game. I'm
systems.
getting about a lock
Turn
60.
around when it is safe
I
to
have
do
it on
so.
probably about medium, medium low settings. I'd say. I do have the dynamic uh, graphical settings turned on, so it dynamically adjusts the graphics depending on the load on the GPU and CPU and other components in the computer,
Turn around
and
when it is
that
safe
really
to do
helps,
so.
especially with lower end hardware. It helps with frame rate drops and slowdown and things like that. Um, it also has a uh, auto detect feature where the game will automatically detect the hardware in your computer and adjust the graphical settings accordingly in real time as you play. So it'll,
Turn around when it
in
is
real
safe to
time
do so.
lower certain texture quality details and raise them as it feels fit, as it sees fit. This game does also support control. Obviously, has full-on controller support for PC, full-on keyboard support if you want to play with the keyboard. I don't know why anyone would. That's a terrible idea, especially for a full-on simulator. I wouldn't say it's the best open-world game I've ever played, but it is definitely up there with the best of the best. I mean, in my opinion, I would probably honestly wait for the price on this one to drop a little bit, and then I would go out and
Help
pick
you
it
on
up
your route.
when it's probably about 30 bucks, or maybe on sale for 20 bucks or something like that, or on a Steam
Yards.
sale.
Turn right.
But it's not something that I would rush out and buy because it's essentially the same thing as Forza 3 was. It's just
Turn
better
around
graphics,
when it is safe
better
to do
sound.
so.
Well, that's subjective, the soundtrack, but I think the soundtrack's a bit better. The graphics are better. You got different car selections, and obviously you're in a different, you got a different map, and things like that. It is quite well optimized. It will run on pretty much anything as long as it's halfway decent. I would say you need at least about 8 gigs of RAM, minimal DDR3 RAM. Even in a decent laptop, even a halfway decent laptop, you should be able to get this game running at least 30 frames a second, at least. you know, Especially with the auto detect feature. It will know, where the hardware is, and it will set it to the best of its ability. And you can always go in there and tweak it, such as I've done. I did have it tweaked just so to where it would work really well with my rig, but I don't know, it lost all my settings for some reason. I have no idea why. But that's what I was talking about earlier, the dynamic optimization. And that's where it'll adjust the graphical settings depending on the load and depending on the scenario that's playing out in the game. Frame rate, I have it locked at 60, but I'm not really hitting 60. I mean, I'm pretty much locked at 60, but there are frame rate drops sometimes here and there. But again, that's where the dynamic optimization comes in to help stabilize everything. So it does pretty good. You know, Obviously you can have it show your frames per second, or FPS for short. Motion blur, I don't care for motion blur too much, but you can't turn it off in this game. So user interface scale, I just leave all this stuff to default because you don't really even need to mess with any of this, honestly, if you're just a casual guy or even just a hardcore. It's not that important. I mean, yeah. Going to advanced here, let's see what we have. Let's see. Hmm. Hold on. Got Okay. So FXAA. That's currently turned off. That's another form of anti-aliasing. I currently have that turned off. That helps with my frame rate. All that does is smooth your edges and help it look a little better. I do have some form of anti-aliasing on. You want to have some form of anti-aliasing on to help with your edges, so your edges are a little bit smoother, so you don't get a bunch of jagged edges and it doesn't look really, really, rough. SSAO quality, again, another form of you know, eh, graphical improvement. It's not really anti-aliasing. It's more of a form of graphical improvement. Makes the surfaces look, you know, just a little better. Helps with shadows and stuff like that. That's something I would turn on if my rig was a little bit more powerful, but you don't need it. It's not gonna, be the end of the world. Reflection quality, you want to always leave that high. That's really gonna give you that nice pop and that nice next gen look. Windshield reflection quality, you could lower that down all the way down to medium if you want. Mirror quality, you could turn that off if you want. I usually turn it to high, so I can actually see the detail of the cars behind me in my mirror when I'm in, first person view, in the cockpit of the vehicle. Car, world car level of detail. That's pretty important. You want to leave that at least high. The formable terrain, not that important. You can leave it at high. I mean medium, high. I usually leave it about medium, but it's on the dynamic setting, so it's choosing everything. But I usually, when I had it custom set, I had it set to medium. I'm not gonna mess with anything here because you have to reset the whole entire game every time you change these graphical settings, and it's really kind of a pain in the butt. That's another thing you should probably know. Lens effects, I would leave that to high or medium. Shader quality, I would go ahead and leave that to medium or high. Particle effects quality, that's not that important. I mean, that's just like when you hit another car, those little specks and stuff that fly, like little chips of paint and stuff that fly. It's not that important. You're not gonna really notice it all that much. You could drop that all the way down to low if you wanted to, honestly. And those are all your settings you have in here in the advanced settings panel. Resolution, I normally run at 1080p, full 1080p, 1920 by 1080, and obviously full screen. But yeah, that's generally how I kind of run it. There is a story to this game. It's not very well. It's not very immersive. It's not very, engaging. It's just, you're trying to become trying to come up in the racing world and, make a name for yourself pretty much. Pretty much like in any other racing game. These games are not really about their stories. The driving physics and the handling characteristics of the vehicles and the driving models and all that great stuff is all intact. It's pretty much Forza 4 in an open world. That's pretty much what it is. It's just now. It's, you guys know this. We've gone from the track to an open world with destructible environments, semi-destructible environments. And this game currently right now on Game Pass is next to nothing. I mean, you pay for Game Pass, I think it was like $2 for 2 months, and you get Xbox Live Gold, and you get access to all these great games for $2 for 2 months, and you can play this one and a bunch of other games. But like I said before, if I haven't, this is not a game I would rush out and buy full price. I would wait for it to drop on a Steam sale or something, or a Microsoft sale or something, and pick it up for like $30, maybe $40 or something along those lines, man. It's a great game. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it at a 9 out of 5 or 9 out of 10. Picking up my old show X-Play. Just love that show. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 9 out of 10 though. It's a solid 9 out of 10. It's not a must buy. It's wait till it drops a little bit. Go ahead and pick it up and enjoy yourself. Till next time, you guys. I'm going to want to hear you guys' comments. I'm going to Ask you guys to like, subscribe, hit ring that bell, and most important of all, have a nice day, and I hope you enjoy your new year. Thanks for watching.